So this cop is an evil, creepy pervert. Let me explain. Now the cop's name is Wayne, and Wayne is around 48 when this story starts, and he's living in southeast England, and Wayne is a police officer. But Wayne also has a serious problem. He's a creep. He likes to just flash random women whenever he can, like sometimes just out on the street. He's also been accused of SA multiple times by multiple women. But every time, there's never a proper investigation into it. So he's never had to face any consequences. Probably because, he's a cop. But one day in 2021, Wayne is at a McDonald's drive-thru in Kent, and there's a female employee attending to him. And for whatever reason, boom, he exposes himself to her. Then, about 2 weeks later, he goes back to the same location, and boom, he exposes himself to another female employee again. And at this point, the manager there calls and reports him to the police. A few days later, an officer is sent over to investigate. And when she arrives, she's shown the footage from the security cameras, and she sees Wayne's car and his registration plate. And she's also given receipts from Wayne's food order, which has some of his credit card info on it. So from here, police could investigate this and pursue Wayne. However, for whatever reason, nothing really happens and no officers follow up. And so, once again, Wayne gets away with being a creep. And because he got away with it, I guess he feels like he can get away with anything. Because one day, he gets the idea to use his position as a police officer to deceive a woman so that he can kidnap her. So he gets to work on this evil plan, and he immediately decides that it won't be a good idea to do it in Kent, where he lives, because there's a chance someone might recognize him. Instead, he chooses to do this in London. So he travels back and forth there for a whole month, and he studies the area, and he's trying to scout out the right location. Once he finds the right place, he then rents a car that is apparently similar to a standard police car there. Then, a few days later, after his shift at work is over, he drives all the way to South London. And there, he starts cruising around, scoping for a victim. And that is where he spots her, a woman walking home all alone after leaving a friend's house. So Wayne pulls up beside her, and he gets out and he walks up to her, and he tells her that he's an undercover officer. Then, he hands her his warrant card, which is, in the UK, a proof that he's a police officer. And he comes up with some bullshit story. He tells her that she's violating COVID-19 regulations and that she's supposed to be on lockdown because it's 2021 and all that COVID stuff is going on. So this woman, she sees his car and she sees the warrant card. So she seems to believe that all of this is legit. She has no reason not to. So she apologizes and she tries to talk her way out of it. But Wayne, he isn't trying to hear all that. That's not what he's here for. He's here to kidnap her. So he takes out some handcuffs and he puts them on her. Then he puts her in the back of his car and he drives off. And here is where the story gets really dark. So Wayne drives them from South London all the way over to Dover in Kent. And there is where he had parked his actual car, not the one he rented. So he tells the woman that he needs to move her into another vehicle. Now, at this point, I assume she's starting to feel like something is off about this. Like, why would a cop change vehicles to an unmarked, non-police car in the middle of an arrest? And why have they been traveling for hours? Regardless, she's nice, she's not a combative person, she continues to comply, and she gets into the new car. Then, Wayne drives them out to a remote rural location, and there he essays her, and he uses his belt, and he strangles her. And unfortunately, she doesn't survive this. Then he drives out to a piece of land that he happens to own, way out in the woods, and there he gets her body out of the car, and he dumps it inside an old abandoned refrigerator. And to ensure nothing can be traced back to him, he takes her phone and he throws it into a nearby stream. After that, he goes back home and he just continues on, living his normal life, as if nothing happened, like he didn't just kidnap and murder someone. That same day, he spends time with his wife and kids, because of course he's married and has kids. He also calls and makes dental appointments for his kids that same day. The day after that, he goes back out to the woods and he pours a bunch of gasoline all over that fridge and he sets it on fire because he's trying to burn up the body and all the evidence, I guess. After that, he puts the remains in a bag and he dumps it in a nearby pond. That same day, he goes back to living his normal life. Like, he gets breakfast at a coffee shop, he returns his rental car, he calls the local vet to talk to them about the health of his dog. But even more fucked up than that, 2 days later, he decides to take his wife and kids on a family trip, and he takes them out to that same area where he dumped that woman's body. Meanwhile, this poor woman that he killed has a boyfriend. And of course, this boyfriend has been calling her and trying to get a hold of her because he notices that he hasn't heard from her in a few days. And her not responding to him, this is just very out of character for her. So he goes right to the police and he reports her missing. And police, they start investigating. But they don't have any real leads at the moment. They have no idea who could have done this. And days go by, and police still don't have much to go on. So it's starting to look like Wayne, he's about to get away with murder. Until police issue a public appeal for anyone driving in the area on the date of the murder to submit their dash cam footage. And one random citizen submits dash cam footage that he got that captured Wayne's car with the woman he's about to murder in the back seat. Police also get a hold of footage from a city bus's CCTV system that actually captures the fake arrest while it's happening. And from there, they're able to trace all of this back to Wayne. And so, bam, Wayne is arrested. Here's his mugshot. And sometime after, he also gets fired from the police department. Good, finally. Also, the officer who previously failed to properly investigate his flashing incident at the McDonald's, there was pressure on the police department to fire her for that as well. But before they can fire her, she actually resigns to go and pursue a career as an adult model. So now she has a spicy account under the name, and I'm not making this up, Officer Naughty. Anyway, so police, they have Wayne and they question him and he claims that he did nothing wrong and he comes up with some bullshit story. He says that he was threatened by an Eastern European gang and that they demanded that he kidnap a woman and deliver her to them. And he says that he did that for them, but that he handed her over and that he knows nothing about what happened to her afterwards. So he says he knows nothing about her death. Regardless, police, of course, they aren't buying it. And a few days later, the woman's body is found in the